Hello, I'm Heath, and today I'm going to tell you how to play HeroQuest, one of my favorite games. And I'm going to show you how to do it in only 5 minutes, so you can get right to the table. Alright, here we go. One player takes on the role of Zargon. That player will play all of the monsters and run the dungeon. The other players will take on the role of different heroes who will all work together to defeat the forces of Zargon. If this is your first time playing, you should play one of the heroes. In the core game system, the heroes are the elf, the dwarf, the barbarian, and the wizard. Select one of these heroes and take a player card and the associated miniature. If you're playing the wizard or the elf, then you also get spells. The wizard should choose one of these sets of 3 elemental spell cards. Then, the elf may choose which of the remaining sets of 3 elements he or she would like to play with. All of the remaining spells then go to the wizard. Zargon will tell you precisely what your objective is in each game, because it changes in each quest. But regardless, playing the game is simple. On your turn, you can move and then take an action, or you can take an action and then move. To move, roll 2 6-sided dice. You can move your character up to that number of squares. Diagonal movements are not allowed. Of course, you don't have to move at all if you don't want to. Also, heroes can move over heroes, monsters can move over monsters, but heroes cannot move over monsters, and monsters cannot move over heroes. You must always end your movement in an unoccupied space. The back of the character card explains all of the different actions your character can take. These actions are attack, but we'll get back to that one in just a moment. Search for treasure. When you're in a room, tell Zargon that you're searching for treasure. If there's treasure in the room, he will let you know, or ask you to draw a card from the treasure deck, which could hold riches, magic wonders, reveal a wandering monster, or have you stumble into some kind of hazard. But if there are traps in the room when you search for treasure, you will spring them, so you may want to search for traps first. Search for traps. To search for traps, declare you are searching for traps to Zargon. If there are traps in the room or hall that you're in, Zargon will identify the suspicious spaces on the board for you to avoid, jump, or disarm later as you see fit. Disarm a trap. If you're playing the dwarf, you can disarm a trap on the square that you're on. Declare that you're moving onto the square with the trap with the intent to disarm it. Roll a white combat die. If you roll a black shield, you have sprung the trap and suffer its effects. If you roll anything other than a black shield, the trap is disarmed and becomes a normal space. Search for secret doors. Not all doors are instantly visible. If you find yourself with no place to go, search for a secret door by asking Zargon. If there is one, he'll reveal it. If you're the elf or the wizard, you can also cast a spell. Each spell card describes the spell's effects. To cast it, just follow its instructions and hand the card to Zargon. Spell cards are discarded after casting, so you can only cast each spell once during the game. Some spells and long-range attacks require you to see your target. The rule of thumb to determine line of sight is to trace a straight line from the center of your square to the center of the target. If the line does not cross a wall, closed door, hero, or monster, that space is visible. That does mean that your fellow heroes block your line of sight. There are some other things you can do that do not take an action, like drinking a potion. Down one if you need it. Most importantly, however, opening doors is not considered an action. You're going to run into a lot of doors during the game which are closed by default. To open one, stand adjacent to the door and tell Zargon you're opening it. Zargon will do that for you and reveal what lies beyond, whether that's monsters, furnitures, or other closed doors. Doors cannot be closed once they're opened. Now, let's talk about attacking. The front of your character sheet provides all of the information you need to know, particularly the number of attack dice and defend dice your hero rolls. To attack a monster, you must be adjacent to the monster. Diagonal attacks are not allowed. To attack, roll the number of white combat dice indicated on the character sheet. These white dice, called the combat dice, have 3 different symbols on them. The skull, which indicates a hit on a target, the white shield is a defense for a hero, and a black shield is a defense for a monster. When you, as a hero, are rolling to attack, ignore all symbols other than the skull. Monsters roll different numbers of defense dice depending on their type. Zargon has this information and will roll that number of defense dice, trying to roll as many black shields as possible. Each skull rolled is negated by a black shield. The monster loses 1 body point for each skull that was not negated. Monsters don't typically have that many body points. When all of them are gone, the monster is dead and will be removed from the board. But what happens when a monster attacks you? The procedure is reversed. Zargon will roll a number of attack dice for the monster looking to roll skulls. If any have been rolled, you should roll a number of dice under your defend dice. But this time, the hero is looking for white shields to defend. Each white shield negates one of Zargon's skulls. If there are any unnegated skulls left, deduct that number from your total number of body points. You can keep track of this on your character sheet. If you lose all of your body points, your character is dead and removed from the game. There are a few other rules for jumping pits, stumbling into traps, and a few other things, but this is really all you need to know in order to sit down and start playing. You can pick up the rest at the table with everyone as you start play. If you're interested in playing with us on this virtual tabletop, please click the link below.